first thing you want to do is open up the box and pull out the packaging on the inside. You'll see that it has blister packaging around the entire lock, so you want to grab some scissors and just slowly trim around the outside. Now that you have the lock on the outside, you should have three things sitting in front of you. One, the lock. Two, this little key fob, which is kind of hidden inside the lock, so be careful when you take it out of the packaging. And then this white box. For now, you can discard the packaging and set it aside. Take your scissors, cut open the white box where the installation pieces are sitting. Inside the box, you'll find the latching mechanism, plate, some miscellaneous screws, and the actual keys to the lock. For this installation, you're going to need one Phillips head screwdriver and 4 AA batteries, preferably rechargeable so you don't spend a fortune on batteries as you use them up over time. Now the first thing you want to do is take the back part of the lock, as you can see here, and pop open the top of it by just sliding it off. And as you can see, I went ahead and installed the 4 AA batteries. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to test this lock just to make sure it works before you go through the installation trouble. Now you'll do that by taking these 2 wires here and then connecting them according to how the pins line up. It doesn't take a whole lot of force to get them in, so be gentle. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the main part of your lock now and just hit any of the buttons, maybe even the lock button or unlock button, just to make sure everything works. Now if you've done this correctly, you should hear the beep just like I've done here. The first step to installing the new lock is removing the old lock. Now that we've removed the old lock, it's time to install the new deadbolt. So the first part you're going to want to take is the actual deadbolt that should have some blue film or some other protective piece around it to protect the edge. Now when you look at this, you'll notice that there's a Phillips head shaped mechanism here at the bottom. You want to make sure this is on the bottom when inserting it into the door. This goes perfectly in the center of the door. If yours does not line up, you may want to realign the lock if it's not centered. Now, they include a little template here that you can actually line up with the door to make sure it is completely centered. So use this included template if you need it. From here, take 2 of these small screws here and fasten the latching unit. And also noted, if the door frame does not have a latch on it already, you'll want to take the other latch included in the kit and attach that to the door frame itself. Make sure these line up. Moving on to the front part of the lock, you'll want to take the main front part and see this little rod that sticks out of the middle. Make sure this is vertical. So set it up vertically, and then you're going to stick this through the Phillips part of the deadbolt right here. Again, make sure this goes through vertically. Once that's through, go ahead and run the wire along the bottom half of the hole in the door. While supporting the lock from the other side, take the included plate and align it so that this indentation here is lined up with the edge of the door. Now put that vertical piece that runs from the front of the lock through the center of the middle hole, and then run the wire through the bottom half circle. Just like so. Now that you have the plate held up, take your 2 longer screws, as so, and run them through the 2 holes in the side. They should go all the way through to the front part of the lock, where they will screw in to some threads that are in the front locking mechanism. As the screws begin to tighten, make sure that the plate is lined up so that it's sitting upright. Now take the back part of the lock with the top slit off and align it up with the back plate. You'll want to go ahead and connect the wires just like we did earlier. Turn the latch on the lock so that it's pointing up and away from the actual door latch. This ensures that when you turn it towards the door latch, the deadbolt actually goes into the door, thus making it easier to differentiate between the two of when the door is locked and when it isn't. Now feed that wire back into that hole, and again connect this vertical cylinder part to the Phillips head on the back of the back locking mechanism. Now there are two holes in the back of this lock here underneath the batteries, one here and one here. Take these two screws and you're going to screw these in as far as you can go, which should run into that plate we installed earlier. Another thing that you're going to want to pay very close attention to is how the deadbolt slides in and out of the latch. So as you can see here, when I turn it, it goes quickly in one swooping motion. It doesn't hiccup and then follow through the rest of the way. It just goes in and comes back out of the latch. So just make sure that motion is extremely smooth and it doesn't hiccup at all. Because if it does hiccup, that's when you will run into problems while programming the lock and trying to get it to lock by itself. To set a new code for the lock or recode the entire thing, you're going to want to take a screwdriver or other small headed item that can fit onto this little button under the C here. Now you want to take your screwdriver and press down on that button and hold it there for about 10 to 15 seconds. Afterwards, you should hear it beep like that a couple of times, and all of the codes have been deleted. To program a new code onto the lock, take your screwdriver and hit the button below the S. After you've done so, go on to the other side of the door and enter a 2 to 8 digit code into the keypad, followed by the unlock button. And as you could hear there, if you've done it correctly, it should beep twice. If you get 3 beeps, you'll have to try it again. And if there are no beeps, go to the troubleshooting section in the manual. Another thing that you're going to want to pay attention to is where this little switch is, whether it's on the 1 or 2. Now, if you've been watching this entire video, you'll know that this is installed on the right-hand side of the door, and the door swings inward towards me and the camera. So that means it's on the right hand side, and you want to switch the little switch to 1 instead of 2. 1 in this case is for right-handed doors. 2 in this case is for left-handed doors. After you've programmed all the codes you want, simply take the cover and slide it back on. And your lock is complete and installed. Programming the key fob works the same way as programming a code. All you need to do is press down on that S button and then hit either of the buttons on the key fob to program it. So we've already done that. So if we hit unlock, it should send that deadbolt right back in and unlock the door. The same should also work with the lock button.